Alrighty, someone asked me to make a Greninja items and emblems video. And although I don't main Greninja, I know how to play him, so I figured I could give it a shot. So first, I'm just go over the moves. I don't know if everyone knows what they do or which ones are the best. Basically, he's a ranged attacker who uses attack to deal damage, and he can get close or zone out people. So like when he's close, his physical attacks, they deal more damage the lower they are, so you want to get them low by like strafing them from far away, make them approach you when they get close. They should be low enough that your basic attacks deal more and more damage. And then the third one just deals more damage than normal. His ability makes sure that when he gets low, his attack and movement are increased. But the real, like his bread and butter is, Surf. That is the Greninja move. Don't use Water Shuriken. That's not very good. Um, Surf has Greninja dash. It's a pretty big dash, and depending on how much HP they have, changes the amount of damage the move does. So depending on how low they are, it'll deal more damage. So the less HP they have, the more damage it does. If you knock out somebody with it, its cooldown is reset. So if you can figure out where the sweet spot is, I don't know the exact percentages, depending on what Pokemon it is, it will instantly KO them and you get another Surf. And it goes through people, so you can hit multiple people with this. So if there's one person who you kill, you get the entire Surf back. And it also restores your HP. So when you land it, it restores your HP. And when it levels up, it gives you even more. Now, the one that, like, it doesn't really matter for is Double Team versus Smokescreen. Double Team, you can spam it more. I think the clones actually deal damage, and they are kind of annoying sometimes, especially if, like he was in a bush and you don't actually know which one's the real one. You can play that pretty well. And then when it gets upgraded, reduces the cooldown, so it really helps with your movement because that's really what's important to Greninja, your movement. But that's all it does. It just creates some duplicates. They can deal like 10 damage. It's not much. Um, but it lets you dash a lot more. Smokescreen is probably better, but it has a 13-second cooldown, and that doesn't change. That you get what you get with that one. But it makes a smokescreen, and like you disappear, and if they step in smoke, their vision is obscured. So it is really annoying to get hit by it, but they have to walk into it. That doesn't happen all the time. Um, it makes your next basic attack deal more damage, but honestly, that's not. That it's good. Like Smokescreen used to be really good, but then they nerfed it, so now I don't know. You can go either one, depends on your playstyle. Its upgrade increases your attack for a short time, so I mean you deal more damage. So that does help you get them low enough to use Surf more. This one's kind of a personal preference. I won't give you one or the other. His Unite move, it's not bad. Um, I mean, I've seen it completely bomb sometimes where like it just does nothing, and then sometimes if you can get it really well, it deals a lot of damage, and it dashes him pretty far too. So it's pretty good at approaching, and you can really get the surprise on them. And then if you can get a Surf right after, like let's say one of the weaker Pokemon gets hit by this, they'll be pretty low, and you can just go into him with a Surf, and now you already took one down, and your Surf nothing's happened. You just have faster basic attacks because of your Unite move, and Surf is still online. So, and you're probably at like full HP. So that's kind of the moves. I think Surf and Double Team is personally the best, but you can do Surf Smokescreen. I would not play Water Shuriken. That just sounds like not very fun to me. Now for the held items, what I would do is muscle band, attack weight, or training weight, and scope length. That's what I would play, and I think that's kind of the general Greninja build. But there is some room for being a little flexible there. Greninja, like I said, is all about movement. So float stone, interesting pick. I wouldn't run that just because I think there's better options. I've seen people use Razor Claw, which doesn't work on Greninja because he's a range attacker. I mean, he still gets the attack and crit bonus, but he doesn't get the rest of the effects that Razor Claw does that makes it so good. Buddy Barrier, that's good on anybody. You can run Buddy Barrier on any Pokemon and it will do good. And I've seen some people run Focus Band. That's an interesting pick. I wouldn't, but Focus Band is a good item. And if you have a good Focus Band, by all means do that. But I feel like Attack Weight is just like it's too good. Like it's probably one of the best items in the game, especially for like the Slayers. That's their job is to kill people, and that raises their attack by a lot. And I personally always use Muscle Band. I know some people don't. Scope Lens is really good because when you get crits, it makes your crits good and it makes them happen more often. So that's kind of the um, like the all the information on the held items is I use Muscle Band, Scope Lens, Attack Weight. You can do anything from Float Stone, Razor Claw, Buddy Barrier, Focus Band. I'm sure somebody out there uses Score Shield, but really, I don't think Score Shield is very good. Maybe if you're in like a super competitive five-person squad and you really need those stacks from your attack weight, maybe. But I mean, again, I don't think that's a very good idea. For the battle item, that's the one I'm probably the least opinionated about. Um, I always use X attack. That's just what I've always liked. There were a few times I dabbled with X speed, but it just didn't appeal to me as much. It is good because it prevents them from decreasing your movement, so you can easily get away, you can approach. It helps you get these objectives better, so it does help your movement and positioning, which is very, very important. But I prefer X attack just because I like to see their HP bar turn yellow in seconds. It's pretty nice. Full heal's always been good. Pretty short cooldown. No hindrances, so like this pretty much shuts down. Snorlax. His I don't even know what that move's called. It doesn't, launch you anymore. There are some Pokemon full heal just completely nullifies. Like their game plan is now done. Now, if you're like fighting an Absol, that really hasn't done very much for you. If you're fighting a Cinderace, hasn't done much for you. But there are certain Pokemon, a full heal just completely disables, and so it is a good counter pick. But if you're just playing, solo queue, that's not very helpful. I mean, it's still really good, just doesn't quite get the utility out of it. I mean, I suppose you could use Fluffy Tail. I never use Fluffy Tail, even though I'm the one who always jungles and switches lanes a lot. Potion's always good, but I don't love that credit for Greninja because his endurance, I believe, is only like 2 stars, so really not that good. He's meant to kill or be killed. There shouldn't really be anything in between there. Um, now he could be really annoying. I don't know how good he is. Um, like, I mean, on tier list, he's only pretty low, but I mean, I fought Greninjas, and they are a pain in the butt to deal with sometimes. So, like, he's good. You have to play really well with him, though, and there is a game plan that you have to go for. You have to play really well. He's not easy. There's some Pokemon that say expert that are easy, and there are some that say easy that are expert. I don't care what it says for Greninja. He's kind of hard. You got to play well. Now, obviously, he's not like, on the same level. I think Cramorant's pretty hard. I think, there are some Pokemon out there that are hard, and I think Greninja is one of them. And then finally, I'm gonna go to boost emblems. This is another one I'm not very opinionated about because not everyone has the same boost emblems yet. I've been pretty much inactive. Besides making videos, I haven't played that much, so I just have a little bit. Um, I would say since he's an attacker, even though he's a ranged attacker, you can decrease special attack as much as you want. So if anything says decreases special attack, put that on there because that does not hurt you at all. The only thing it can do is make you better. Things to prioritize would obviously be crit rate because crits are busted. Movement speed because movement is literally the game. This is why you're playing. And your attack because you want to do more damage. I would avoid decreasing your HP just because that's what's getting healed, and the less HP you have, the smaller percentage gets healed. Because if your defense is lower but your HP is higher, you lose more HP but you have more HP, so the percentage that heals gets higher. It's hard to explain, but basically, if you have to pick one, lower your defense or special defense. I don't know which one's better, honestly, to lower. I think, for defenses, like obviously attack, there's one that you pick, attack versus special attack. But for defenses, it doesn't really matter. It depends on who you think you're kind of getting killed by more or taking more damage from. If you're really up in there, you need more defense. If you're zoning, you're going to need more special defense just because then you're going to get zoned harder. But the main things are attack, critical hit rate, and movement speed. And then I don't know how many people know this about boost emblems. I didn't look this up, but I kind of figured it out. If you get 6 of the same color, you get a boost to the stat of your choice. So the colors I prioritize to really stack are white, um, what is it, brown, and then I don't actually know what other colors do. So if there are some that increase your movement speed or crit rate, which I don't think there are, go ahead and do those. But definitely white and brown are the way to go. As far as like if you're trying to pick out which one to use, if you can get 6 white or 6 brown, you're doing good. I would prioritize brown though. I'm the kind of person who just I have the good positioning, I have the good movement, I go in there, get the kill, get out, get my HP back, rinse and repeat, do it over and over again, get 23 kills with Absol. If you see my videos, you know. So anyway, that's how I play as Greninja. Um, I'll probably put chapters on this so it's easier to find everything because I kind of had to throw this together last minute. I'm probably going to do a better one later on. But that is how I would play Greninja. Other than that, you got to get your score stacks in. Obviously, do not feed when you're doing that. When you are scoring, do not just go in and die because that is the last thing you need to do. Because you can get your attack up. Like I told my friend who literally feeds whenever he's scoring, I was like, you can definitely get your attack stacks in when you're scoring. However, if you level up the entire enemy team to level 15, the game's over for us. It doesn't matter what your attack stat is. The rest of us are literally suffering over here. So please don't do that when you're playing Greninja. Be smart, because Greninja's a hard Pokemon, and he's not overpowered. Like there are some Pokemon that carry, like OG Sylveon. When they came out, you could play terribly, and it was almost impossible to mess up. So, but with Greninja, you got to play smart. That's just how it goes. Um, I'll probably come back and maybe put some stuff in the comments, maybe in the descriptions of stuff I missed. But this is like the basic. This is Greninja. This is what you do. I could go a lot deeper because I do actually like this game. I like to theorize about it a lot, but this is enough for most players to just get their feet wet. And again, the thing I want to emphasize is this is what I like to do. This does not have to be what you do. I don't want I never want to force players to do things that I want to do because everyone plays different. There are some things I'm like, no, I disagree with that. I don't care. Like if you think Score Shield's good, go ahead and use Score Shield. There are some things that I do that nobody else does, and that's fine. It's all about the player. Whatever you play the best with is what's the best. Like sometimes tier lists are wrong. I used to not think so. I used to think tier lists are like the law. You can't say anything different than that. But then I started playing Absol, and Absol works for me. He's not good, but he's the best for me. So a tier list for my Pokemon, Absol's number one, even though Absol's not the best Pokemon out there. So do whatever works for you, and just use this as a guide to inform your decisions. And if there's anything I didn't cover, put it down in the comments, and I'll discuss it with you. Because I could, if I make another version of this video, do it better. So any feedback is great. Please do that for me. I'd really appreciate it, and I hope this was helpful in any kind of way.